18 weeks in the job. I can only imagine after the week you've had, it maybe does feel a little longer than that.
It does. It feels a little longer than that, you could say, yes.
There has been so much apologising from colleagues, former colleagues, over the past few months. Can you promise those involved in this scandal, if you like, and all Welsh rugby fans, that the WRU we will have in 12 months, 18 months' time, will be very different to the one that's described in this report?
Yeah, definitely. I think the culture that's shown in the report is awful. And as you know, many of the colleagues in the WRU, fortunately, have not been subject to some of that, but some have. And even one is too much. So we need to be really clear on what's acceptable behaviours and what are not acceptable behaviours. We need to be really clear that we're being inclusive going forwards. And we need to be clear that that stretches down, not just in the WRU, but it goes down to all the clubs across Wales.
It's fair to say that this has been a costly process for you as a union in more ways than one. The WRU recorded a loss of 4.3 million last year, nearly $500,000 as a payout to your former chief executive, Steve Phillips. Well, this happened on his watch. Is there any scope for that payoff to be reviewed at all?
So the payoff was an agreement between Steve Phillips and the Welsh Rugby Union at the time, and that was done months and months ago now. So it looks to me like that would be very difficult to reopen.
How much of an impact has the past 12 months had on your finances as a union? I'm thinking maybe of sponsorships, companies maybe not wanting to touch you as this review was going ahead. Has it, or did it leave you as a union, your existence, in a very precarious situation?
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, I think if you go back to immediately after the report was announced, if I was a sponsor at that point in time, I'd have definitely been worried. I think going forwards, we've had a lot of contacts with our sponsors, and we're very grateful to them for actually sticking by us in some pretty difficult times. But my commitment is to create the cultural change together with Abby Tierney and Nigel Walker, and to have a new WRU going forwards.
How confident are you that the problems outlined in this report and the people responsible for them, that they are not now part of the union? Do you categorically know that the rot, if you like, is not there and that there is a clean slate?
Yeah, and honestly, no, I don't. Do I know that we've dealt with everything? I think that would be foolish of me to say yes to that. And we've said to people internally, look, if you're experiencing a problem or you've experienced a problem in the past, we want to hear from you, because we want to make sure that that is cleaned up within the WRU and in the wider Welsh Rugby family.
Is that a real concern then, that you're trying to change the culture of the organisation, but possibly some of the problems still there?
Of course it's a concern. I don't want to say this is going to be a witch hunt, because it isn't. We're setting out procedures for people, if they experience poor behaviour, to report it in a way that's easy for them to report. And so I expect behaviours to change across the piece, and if they don't, well, we'll follow that up and we'll take appropriate action.
There was a great question from the audience today. Angharad from Brecon Rugby Club, yes, who said, when you walk into this meeting today, you see it's
mainly men.
Yes, mainly men.
And mainly older men, frankly.
Yeah, and it can be quite a daunting place. But how do you make sure, even though the changes that you're trying to implement at the top do cascade down to the bottom?
So I think there's some structural things, and you heard one of them debated a bit today, which is that we need to put in place a maximum term limit of the 9 years, and we need to have a fallow period after that for people standing for, council posts, which enables new people to come through and to put their hands up. Because a lot of people are too respectful of people who've held those positions for a long period of time to challenge them. I think it's a fallacy to say that they would be challenged. They won't. And one of our biggest challenges across the clubs is getting younger people and women into positions of authority, responsibility, because it's only then that the game will change and will expand the fan base, which is also what we need.
And if I was lucky enough to sit down with you in another 12 months' time, what would success look like?
So I think success would look like we've implemented all of the recommendations in relation to the independent review, apart from the ones where they themselves said that you shouldn't do that for a period of a couple of years. So that would be success measure number one. Success measure number two would be that our men's and women's had really strong elite teams. They were settled, And to do that, I think we need a closer working relationship with the regions, the professional clubs, and we need a greater degree of commonality in coaching across the piece. It's, you don't get the best result if players are just released to the elite coaches 6 days before a match or 2 weeks before a match. There has to be greater working together over the whole season.
And how much of a priority are the regions keeping players, ensuring fan engagement?
Yeah, massive priority, massive priority. We want there to be, 4 vibrant clubs in Wales. So, very high priority from my perspective.
Okay, you've got a busy 12 months ahead of you. We will catch up with you in a year's time, hopefully.
I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine.